Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into hamstring training, one of the most important yet often neglected areas of strength and mobility. If you want stronger legs, better athletic performance, and a lower risk of injury, you need to know how to train your hamstrings properly. We will cover why hamstring training is essential, common mistakes people make, and the best exercises for stronger hamstrings, and a simple hamstring workout you can start today. So let's get into it. Your hamstrings are the powerhouse of your posterior chain. The muscles along the back of your legs are responsible for movements like running, jumping, and bending. Stronger hamstrings help with explosive power, great for sprinting, jumping, and athletic performance. Injury prevention. Weak hamstrings are the leading cause of knee injuries, especially ACL injuries and lower back injuries. Better posture and mobility. They support your hips and spine for better movement. Balanced leg development. Many people focus too much on the quads, leading to muscle imbalances. But here's the thing. Most people train their hamstrings incorrectly or not enough. Let's go over some common mistakes before we jump into the exercises. Relying on machines. Leg curls are great, but your hamstrings are designed for more than just knee flexion. You need exercises that engage your hips too, not using full range of motion. Half reps won't fully activate your hamstrings. You need deep, controlled movements. Ignoring eccentric strength. The hamstrings are strongest when resisting movement, like when you slow yourself from a sprint. If you don't train this, you're more prone to injury. Skipping stability work. Strong hamstrings also need to be stable. Without stability, they won't function properly in real-world movement. Now that you know what not to do, let's go over the best hamstring exercises to build strength, power, and resilience. Let's break it down into 3 types of movement: hip hinge exercises, knee flexion exercises, and stability exercises. Romanian Deadlift, RDLs, the king of hamstring strength. Nordic hamstring curls, the ultimate hamstring builder. Single leg Romanian deadlifts, hamstring strength and stability. Swiss ball hamstring curls, body weight hamstring activation. Here's a quick and effective hamstring workout you can do 2 to 3 times a week. All right, now let's warm up those hamstrings by doing some leg swings. So I want you to stand on one leg, and I want you to go ahead, let's take the right leg, and let's go ahead and kick it forward and backward. But what I want you to really focus on is that you're really extending that knee as you're bringing your leg up and giving that hamstring a nice little tug, and then relax. So you're stretching, you're contracting by curling behind you, doing a butt kick. Do that 8 to 10 times. And then go ahead and switch sides and do that same thing on the other side. Again, flexing and extending. So curl that leg back, but really important, as you kick that leg through, pull your big toe up toward your nose. All right? And now if I'm doing that sideways, we can do it like this way as well. So again, kick. So extend that leg out, pull the big toe toward the nose, and then go ahead and flex that hamstring back behind you. So those are the leg swings. Now from here, let's just do some body weight RDLs. Now, the RDLs, there's a couple variations with this. We can do bent knee RDLs or we can do stiff-legged RDLs. Caution, whenever you lock your legs and you bend forward like this, that pretty much shuts off the gluteus maximus. And there's a reason for that, is because the part of the gluteus maximus fibers, 3/4 of the fibers, actually attach into the IT band. And if I lock my knees, it kind of shuts off the glute max, and I'm left over with just hamstrings. And for some people, that's okay, but just know that you don't have the support of the glute max and the entire posterior chain. So you may choose to do some stiff-legged RDLs where you're bending forward and backward. Keep your chin in, keep your spine in alignment with your body. But you may also choose to soften your knees a little bit and do your RDLs this way. You could also just go ahead and stand on one leg, and you could do some single leg RDLs with your body weight just to warm up, again with your leg either bent or with your leg straight. And then from there, to make sure that we're warming up the glutes, because it's part of the posterior chain, we're going to drop down onto the floor, and we're going to do some glute bridges. And we're just gonna do generic glute bridges where I have my knees shoulder width apart, my feet shoulder width apart, a little tuck of the tail. I'm gonna drive my heels into the floor, come up, squeeze my glutes, come up, squeeze my glutes. And again, I'm gonna do this probably about 8 to 10 times just to go ahead and work up and warm up the glutes and just to wake them up. And this is your quick warm up before you start getting into the strengthening exercises for the hamstrings. Now, the first exercise for the hamstrings is an RDL, Romanian deadlift. And I'd like you to do 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions on this particular exercise. Now, a couple things. Again, we talked a little bit in the warm up that we have stiff-legged RDLs, or we have a soft knee or a bent knee RDL. My choice is usually with the softer knees, but if I want to really develop my hamstrings, I may decide to go with my legs straight and locked out. But again, I want to caution you that you are working on hamstring only and you don't have the glute and the rest of the posterior chain there to protect you. Now, also too, with the RDL, you have options. You can use dumbbells, you could use an Olympic bar, you could use kettlebells, you could even use a cable machine to do your RDLs. For this video, I'm electing to use dumbbells. So I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna grab my dumbbells, and I'm gonna turn sideways, and I'm gonna do soft knee. So my knees are just soft, which is gonna contract my IT band, which is gonna allow my glutes to work. I'm gonna hold the dumbbells close to my thighs. I'm gonna push the crown of my head to the ceiling. And now I'm gonna just go ahead and manage my pelvis so I don't feel like I'm standing here in a big arch. I'm not standing here in a C curve. I just have a little bit of a neutral pelvis. And now from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna slide down my thighs until I get a nice stretch in my hammy. And I'm gonna pull myself up with my hamstrings. And I'm gonna push my glutes or my hips forward. So really, in reality, my hips go backwards. I drop down, I come up, and my hips go forward. My hips go back, and my hips go forward. And what I'm doing as well is I'm managing my spine. So hopefully on the camera that you'll see that I have a nice straight spine and that I'm not rounding over like this, because truly what I want is I want this all to kind of be moving from the pelvis, and I come up and squeeze. Again, push back, pull yourself up, and squeeze your glutes at the top. And this is how we do an RDL. Now we're gonna go over the Nordic hamstring curl. I love this particular movement because this particular movement works more of the hamstrings proximally because I'm fixed distally. I also like this move because I can kind of delineate out the 3 different hamstrings by moving my knees in 3 different positions. So I could have position where I have my knees shoulder width apart, my feet shoulder width apart. I could bring my knees together and my feet apart. Now, when my knees are together and my feet are apart, the whole entire time I'm doing the Nordic curl, I feel like I'm pinching my knees together. And then I could bring my knees apart and my feet together. And during this particular movement, the whole entire time, I feel like I'm pushing my knees apart during that movement. If you work with those 3 different positions, you will cover all 3 of the hamstrings proximally. Now, the last thing I want to say is, yes, I know that you see people on YouTube and Instagram that can literally put their hands behind their back. They can go down and touch their nose on the ground, and they can pull themselves back up again. I am not that good. As a matter of fact, what I would like you to do when you start out, because you could literally tear your hamstring doing this exercise, is I would tell you to bring a Swiss ball in front of you, and that way, as you're going forward, you have something there to kind of protect you while you pull yourself back. And if you get past that point of no return, you don't have to worry about tearing your hamstring. You can just go ahead and push yourself back off of the ball. But if you're good enough that you don't need the ball, you don't need it. And now, all you need is either something to hold your feet down or someone. So luckily, I have Isaac here, and he's gonna hold my feet down. So he's gonna put a lot of his weight holding my feet down, and I'm just gonna demonstrate this exercise with my knees neutral and my feet neutral. I wanna manage my pelvis, push the crown of the head to the ceiling, and now the first rep, I'm just gonna go forward to what I can tolerate, and now I'm gonna pull myself back with my hamstrings. Again, go forward and pull myself back with my hamstrings. Go forward, and I see I'm going a little bit further each time and pull myself back with my hamstrings. And I feel a lot of that in my hammies. There's even exercises that you can do if you want to focus on the eccentric, where maybe you get rid of the ball, hopefully the ball will cooperate and stay there, where you drop and then pull yourself back up. So you're working more on the eccentric, where you lower, 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 and then throw your arms out. So you try to lower yourself down. Hold me down really good, Isaac. You try to go slow, 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 and that's all I can handle when I throw my hands down. So you can actually work on an eccentric component of this movement, and this is how you do the Nordic hamstring curl. And the next exercise is a single leg RDL. Again, this exercise now kind of incorporates that stability and that strength component, because you're going to be standing on one leg. Again, you have a lot of options. You can use dumbbells, you can use an Olympic bar, you can use a cable machine, you can use kettlebells. You could elect to go with 2 dumbbells or 1 dumbbell. You could work in symmetry or asymmetry. Again, whatever you want to do on this, your imagination is your only limitation. So I'm going to choose both dumbbells. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to go ahead and turn sideways for the camera. I'm going to go ahead and stand on my left leg. I'm going to choose to do a soft knee RDL again. And now I'm going to just bend forward from the hips, stretch out, and then pull myself up with my hamstrings. Go ahead and bend forward, pull myself up with my hamstrings. As I get to my parallel here, I'm hoping in the camera, I'm hoping that I make a nice parallel line from the back of my head to my heel. Again, if I choose, I could go ahead and drop 1 dumbbell, and I could stay same side and do my RDL, or I could switch the dumbbell to the opposite side and do an opposite side RDL and pull myself up. Again, whatever you choose to do on this, again, your imagination is your only limitation, and that's how you do a single leg RDL. The next exercise is a Swiss ball hamstring curl. Great exercise because you have a couple of variations with this. You could just isolate the hamstring by bridging up and curling, or if you want to integrate the glutes, we can do a combination where we're curling the hamstrings and firing the hips to the ceiling at the same time. A little bit like doing a glute ham extension. Again, I don't have that machine in my office here, but this exercise I think is a little bit like that, incorporating a lot more of the posterior chain. So you're going to line your back, you're going to bring the Swiss ball underneath your heels, feet about shoulder width apart, bring your hands in a cross position. That's going to stabilize your shoulder blades. Eyes are down. Now, if I want to choose just to isolate my hamstrings, I might curl my body up so I'm in a parallel position and just go ahead and curl my legs, curl my legs, curl my legs. And that's just more of a isolation of the hamstrings. How I like to do this particular movement is I like to get myself up into a plank, and now at the same time as I'm curling my hamstrings, I'm going to fire my hips to the ceiling. So it looks more like this. Up and down slow. You're going to work on that eccentric. Up, fire up and down. Fire up and down. So it's not this and then up. It's both at the same time. Fire the hips to the ceiling and curl the legs. Up and down. And if you're really good, you could choose to do a single leg variation where you're curling one leg at a time and firing your hips to the ceiling. But I'm not warm enough to really demonstrate that exercise very well right now. So make sure you're warmed up before you do that movement. And that's how you do a Swiss ball hamstring curl. Now we've strengthened those hamstrings. Now let's show them a little bit of love by doing some myofascial stretching of the hamstrings. Whenever you do a myofascial stretch, you're going to be holding for 30 seconds. I'm just going to quick show you the 3 different positions that we can stretch: the semitendinosus, the biceps femoris, and the semimembranosus. So the hamstrings go from out to in, biceps femoris, semitendinosus, semimembranosus is the most medial. So if I want to start in the middle and just stretch the semitendinosus, I'm going to demonstrate this on my right side. I'm going to sit nice and tall. I'm going to bend my right knee to 90, or my left knee to 90 degrees. I'm going to let my leg flop open. My right leg is the one being stretched. So I want to internally rotate the femur, pull the big toe toward the nose, erect my spine as tall as possible, spread the fingers, pull the wrist back, and now I'm going to lean forward, but how I lean forward is important. I'm not just gonna round my body like that because that's wasting your time. You wanna feel like you're shining your butt cheeks up to the ceiling. You wanna feel like you're dumping water on the front of your pelvis. Push your crown to the head of the ceiling, the chin is in, the eyes are down. And my last move that I wanna do is in my brain, I wanna feel like I'm dislocating my hip out of its socket by pushing my heel away from me. And I hold and breathe for 30 seconds. When the 30 seconds is up, I slowly relax. And now if I wanted to get the biceps femoris, this is a little tweak. I take that knee and I bring it slightly across the midline of my body. Now, again, the leg is straight, so knee is down, turn the kneecap in, pull the big toe up toward the nose, erect yourself as tall as possible, put this hand on your thigh, left hand out in front of you. Now, take your belly button and turn it, your belly button, not your torso, take your pelvis, turn it over that leg, and now you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna go forward in that position there. And now the last thing I'm gonna do, in my brain, I'm gonna turn my lower leg into a banana, and it's gonna curve that way into the corner of the room. So I'm gonna push my heel into the corner of the room. That's gonna create a little bit of a varus stress on the outside of my knee. And now I'm gonna get more of a pull, big pull down the outer part of my lower leg and my upper leg, and that is the biceps femoris. Literally what you're doing is you're stretching the posterior chain all the way from the lateral malleolus up through the peroneals, into the biceps femoris, into the sacrotuberous ligament, all the way up your spine to the base of your skull, if you do this properly. And then when you're done, you're gonna slowly relax. And to get the semi-membranosus, all you're gonna do on this one now is you're gonna take that leg and you're gonna bring it just a little outside of neutral. You're gonna turn the femur in, but in your brain, you're gonna turn the lower leg out. Just think that. And now what you're gonna do, instead of going this way, you're gonna erect your spine, and now you're gonna go more toward the opposite foot like this. And again, last thing I want you to do is I want you to push your leg away from you, and I want you to hold and breathe for 30 seconds. When you're done, you slowly relax, and that's how we, and make sure you always do both sides, and that's how we stretch the hamstrings. Hamstring training is essential for athletic performance, injury prevention, and lower body strength. By incorporating these exercises and avoiding common mistakes, you'll build stronger, more resilient hamstrings that power your movements in and out of the gym. Challenge for you: try this workout for 4 weeks and let me know how your hamstrings feel in the comments below. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in for notifications for more expert fitness content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now go train those hamstrings.